have found the Genesis frequency. This is Dr. Stephen J. Kazmina welcoming you in to another episode of a show that focuses on your whole life prosperity and success. Whole life prosperity and success by cooperating with the universal laws that are available to each and every one of us. This is Quantum Leap Goal Achievement, radical personal transformation, whole life prosperity and success. Now, stay tuned for another exciting episode that'll move the needle in your life from where you are now to where you want to be. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time of day it may be, wherever you are in the world. When you hit that play button, I appreciate you. This is Dr. Cause and Effect, Dr. Stephen J. Kazmina, coming at you with another episode of the Genesis frequency. And I'm so glad to be doing this and so profoundly grateful for each and every listener. I can't say that enough. The numbers continue to go up and up and up all around the world. So I'm grateful for you listening in, telling other people about the show, and inviting them to listen as well. So thank you for that. You know, I'm feeling really good as I record this today. I feel really good just about every day, but we're coming off the heels of a training that we did, a corporate training. As you know, my company, my wife and I have a company called Success Ocean International. And other than my podcast, which is what you're listening to right now, we work with individuals, we work with small businesses, and we work with corporations. And in the corporate space, we do so many things. We have over 100 topics that we are capable of doing training on, either through digital learning or through in-person live workshops and, a couple-hour workshops or half-day workshops or day-long workshops or a weekend presentation with a keynote, for annual meetings, that kind of thing. We love doing those. We love the live in-person. We also do them on Zoom or other, there's another platform coming out, I think, which is going to blow away Zoom, by the way, so stay tuned for that. But we did this live, and we've been doing this on a regular basis, at least every quarter for in the hospitality industry. We love the hospitality industry. We love being in the environment of the resorts and the vacation places, of course, where we live here on Okaloosa Island, just off of Destin, between Destin and Fort Walton Beach. It's just, it's just a hub of activity, and one of the favorite destinations in the United States anyway. So we're doing some hospitality training, but it all comes back to what I talk about on this show. So if people come in, they don't know what to expect. That's why I got this little buzz going today from the training we did yesterday. And because what we do is not traditional. The group that we have been working with is, they're already way up there as far as their numbers. We call them KPI, key performance indicators. They're way up there, and they walk in the room. We already tell them, hey, you guys are already superstars, but we're going to go triple double diamond. That's the name of my wife's book, Triple Double Diamond Customer Service, because we can all do a little bit better, right? But we talk about in our training things that are not normally talked about in the mundane, the everyday training. A trainer comes in, do this, smile more. Treat other people, it's just, it needed an overhaul from our point of view. And we needed to talk about some of these laws of infinite potential that I talk about on the show, how our mind works, how powerful our subconscious mind is, the formula thoughts plus feelings plus action equals results, and showing people that, hey, this is how it works. And most live from their results. We think the same thoughts habitually every day. So many of our thoughts are the same ones we thought yesterday, and we're thinking from that place, that energy, that frequency of what we don't want. So that's what we bring into this training. And I love going around the room at the end, and instead of filling out a evaluation form, I take the smartphone around the room and I just do a video with each person and looking for takeaways. And it's really interesting because when we walk in a room, we have a group of, well, there's like yesterday, for instance, there's 4 or 5 engineers, which are the people involved in maintenance and keeping the AC systems and the plumbing up and running all the time to keep guests happy. And we have food and beverage people, we have front desk people, we have housekeeping people, we have management people, and all throughout what you would find throughout a hospitality organization like a hotel and resort. So we have a mixture of people, and these aren't people that necessarily are familiar with personal development. We find that, some they know a few books or read a few books, or maybe they're familiar with The Secret. But I love the group. I love all the groups that we do because it's just interesting. I really come from a place that, hey, we're all students, we're all teachers, and that always plays out. And it really comes out when everyone shares. So we don't come in there like know-it-alls. We come in there and we teach something and we show something and we share something that perhaps they're unfamiliar with, but is universal and applies to the results that are showing up. So we invite them to think of just like I do with an individual, think of a personal goal and a professional goal. What's your professional objective? What do you want to do here or within your line of work or career? And what do you want for yourself? That personal goal is important too, right? Because it drives us every day. We might not want the job we have, but we want to have a personal goal, and maybe that job provides the means to the end, and so on and so forth. But the shares were great. And that's what I want to talk about a little bit today. Some of the simple things that we don't think of, being a metaphysician and studying most of my life the underlying nature of things and the laws of cause and effect. People like me can make things kind of complicated, and I like to keep things simple. I like to keep things easy. I want to communicate with clarity so that everyone can understand. And when I hear these comments as we go around the room, I know that we successfully did that. We asked, hey, what's your takeaway from today? What did you like most? And this happened to be a 4-hour training, half-day training for us. And it was really good. One of the first comments I heard was awareness. Awareness is a big thing, right? Personal and professional development awareness. We have to be aware. We have to be aware of our thoughts. We have to be aware of how we're moving through the day. We have to be aware of how we're showing up. We have to be aware of what's happening around us, especially in the hospitality industry. But you can apply this to any industry. You have to be aware. You can't just show up in whatever you do, whether it's in your small business or whether it's on your corporate team or part of a corporate environment. You can't just show up, go into zombie mode, go into coma mode. But, society in general pretty much lives there. So awareness is a big thing. You have to be aware that I am slipping into that autopilot running from my internal programming mode, and I don't want to do that because it'll just be another Groundhog Day. It'll be the same day that happened yesterday. So awareness is important, and for individuals, an individual in engineering, been around for a long, long time, that was his key takeaway, awareness. We do some exercises where they do some mirror work, and Tanae spends a lot of time with them in front of a mirror. And then I take the other group that's not working on the mirror stuff, and I have them create a scenario. And one person is the upset customer or guest or client, and videos the other person responding and how do they respond. And there's really no right or wrong. But what we found is most people don't realize what they look like, how they're showing up when they communicate with other people. And it can be
It can be a guest, it can be a customer, it can be a client, it can be with coworkers. At the water cooler, how are you showing up? We don't look at that. We don't see that, and that part is always astonishing to a lot of people, because what we do is we just do this for 2 or 3 minutes each, and then they both turn around, look at the video, and observe. Just notice things. Not one person telling the other, "Oh boy, you really suck doing that," anything like that. They just do a honest, a critique and observation. I didn't realize I did that with my hair. Oh my goodness, I didn't make any eye contact. And it's a real eye opener and ties in with that awareness. So, the reason I'm sharing all these things is because it was a really good training session. These are all things that I want to make sure I don't forget about when I move into the show each and every week. I want to make sure that some of these basic things that we're able to communicate with clarity and understanding in a early, session, half day session, are not just lost in how complicated we can all make life be. So we have awareness number one. We have the exercises, the observing of self. So do that. If you're on the phone a lot, put a mirror in front of you. Look at yourself in the mirror. Do some mirror work. Get in front of the mirror. Look at yourself. Look at yourself deeply, not at just the physical body you are. Yeah, that too, but all of you. What's in your heart and soul? Say I love you several times while looking in the mirror. This one was a real hard one for me for a while. So do some of that mirror work. How are you showing up? Have somebody, that you trust, that it's okay, that's not going to critique every little thing you do. Do some role playing, do some video work, and then just take a look. How do I look? What do you notice about yourself? Say, why didn't somebody, that happens all the time. Why didn't somebody tell me I'm showing up looking like that? I didn't know my shirt wasn't tucked in. I didn't know my blouse was open down to there. Why didn't somebody tell me? Well, you can observe for yourself when you do this. Another big thing that people realized was karma. Karma, that's another way for saying the laws of cause and effect, how we're showing up, how we're treating other people. It comes down to the golden rule, the simple things. But do we remember that every day? We are all energy. Everything is energy. No matter how you cut it, slice it, dice it, everything is energy. And we daily, moment by moment, make an impression on this energy. We put something out from a frequency, from a vibration, whatever we're in, whatever level of frequency or vibration, whatever we're dialed into, we put that out. And the energy that we're immersed in, saturated with, swimming in, responds to us in kind, in like manner. So when we're putting out kindness and compassion and love and givingness and being a beneficial presence in the lives of others, well, that's going to come back to us. And we communicated this clearly to get that kind of one word response at the end. Hey, karma, I got to know, I got to show up, and I got to show up being, there's our be, do, and have part, being what I want to be in this world, but I want to be what I wish to receive back, how I want to be reflected back from the world around me, from people around me. And a couple more points as we get towards the end of this podcast this morning. I can't believe we're already in this deep. Was the consciousness. When I talk about that all the time in the show, and people really appreciate it when I go into the stickman figure. If you're not familiar with the stickman figure, I talk about it all the time. Reach out to me. Let's have a conversation. I would love to explain the stickman to you. Successappointment.com. That's how you get on my calendar. But in consciousness, and it really comes down to my formula that I talk about all the time. Not my formula, but the formula I talk about all the time. Thoughts plus feelings plus actions equals results. And how we have to shift from living from results, living from the paradigm, the paradigms, the programming. We have to shift to living from the new thought, the ideal, the worthy ideal, the dream, the goal, the desire that we have done the work to establish, right? So that's what we want to do, is we want to make that energy shift. And that's what this one person was sharing, that we can make that shift in consciousness instead of every day being the same old thing, doing the same old thing, having the same results show up in our lives all the time. We can choose to be something different, and then we can choose to show up in life being that something different. And that was really key. And the other one was really simple. It's just what the young lady just shared. You know, we forget that we can choose our thoughts. And that ties in with the autopilot programming, the paradigms, the multitude of habits that have almost exclusive control over our habitual behavior. She was like, yeah, that just an eye opener that I can choose my thoughts. I do see myself participating in habitual behavior day after day after day. And if I continue that same behavior, I'm going to continue to experience, to receive the same results. So when I get up in the morning, even if I don't feel like going to work, even if I don't feel like doing this, even though I don't feel like what's on the to-do list, I can choose a new thought. I can choose, it really comes down to perception, one of our mental faculties. I can choose to look at this in a different way. And she shared a great example. She goes, I can say, I don't want to go to work. I got to go to work today. No, she was saying, I get to go to work. I know of and see a lot of people that can't. I get to go. I get to do this. She said, I might have bigger dreams and goals, but today I get to do this, and it supports my movement along the path in the direction of my dreams and goals. Great share, because so many people, we just take it for granted. If you're listening to a show like this, many of these things, they're second nature to you, but maybe you need a reminder too. Maybe that's why I'm doing this. I just turn on the microphone and start speaking. But really, many people don't realize, hey, yeah, I can choose my thoughts. I can choose when I get up in the morning what I deliberately, intentionally want my day to look like. I can choose the way I want to feel. I don't have to be stuck in the old programming, the old pattern. I can choose. Yes, today I set the intention that I'm going to find joy within me and share that everywhere I go, with everyone I meet. And I'm going to do that whether I speak to them or not. I'm going to be in the energy of joy. Just something simple like that can be enough to make a profound difference, not only in how you feel about yourself, but what's coming back to you, what's returned to you. Just try that. If you're someone that just goes into that zombie mode, goes into that, that shell, goes into that autopilot programming and just operates from there as an unconscious competent, try this in the morning. Decide what you want to be. Decide how you want to show up. Decide how you want to feel and say, I'm going to move into this. This is my intention for today. And then just pick an intangible aspect of character, joy. I want to be loving. I want to be a light today. Today I want to be a bright light of happiness, of love, of joy. Whatever it is, just decide. Just decide. And then see. Experience for yourself. Prove this. Prove me wrong. Prove this. Show up like that. No matter what, I am not going to let outside conditions and circumstances influence me to the point that I react. I will move to that place of calm and inner peace and poise and breathe, and then choose whether to respond appropriately or not respond at all. This is taking control and living from the inside out rather than from the outside in. So great shares. I wanted to share these with you. If you've been listening to this show for any length of time, you're probably coming up with similar one-word phrases. What did you get out of it? I'd love to hear what you get out of this podcast, and share it in the comments section wherever you're listening to this. they will make it back to me one way or another, whether you're on Apple, you're Google, you're on Amazon, you're on Stitcher, you're on iHeartRadio. It doesn't matter. I'll get the comments one way or another. So another thing you can do is reach out. Stephen, Stephen, at successocean.com, successappointment.com. Get you on my calendar. The website is successocean.com. The website for this show is thegenesisfrequency.com or StephenJKosmyna.com. I don't know if you're going to have problems spelling that, but hey, find me. Just Google me. I'm out there. Kosmyna is the last name. Or if you're interested in moving into the field of personal and professional development as a vehicle to produce a very lucrative executive level income for yourself, or have the potential to do so, I got to watch my words here, you can reach out to successocean.biz, B-I-Z, and fill out a little form, and I'll contact you and do a little interview to see if, hey, maybe we're a fit there. Something that is not MLM or, multi-level, none of that multi-level marketing, or no selling, no convincing, no explaining. Those are hard to find. And I've been involved doing this work for the last almost 10 years. And it's been very, 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 very good to me. So maybe you'd like to do that. And you can work anywhere in the world with just a laptop and a telephone. So that's the beauty of that. That's getting more and more appealing to people all over the place. Or if you just want to talk, and say, hey, I'm stuck. What do I do to get unstuck? Why am I stuck? I can help you with that as well. But that's it. That's all the time we have for today. Wow, it sure goes by fast. I love talking about personal and professional development for all of you, for the individual, small business owner, and the corporate space. You want to talk, you want to have me come out, do a keynote, featured presentation, a workshop, a lunch and learn, whatever it is you want to do, I'd love to hear from you. So please reach out. For now, this is Dr. Cause and Effect, Dr. Stephen J. Kosmyna. You've been listening to the Genesis Frequency, and I wish for you an infinitely spectacular day. God bless you.